Hey, thanks for today. I had a blast hanging out with you. And you know what? It was awesome meeting your dad, too. He's a pretty cool dude, I must say. Here's to hoping we hit it off even more in the future.
Oh, by the way, Dad wanted me to tell you that he really likes you. He thinks you're charming and all that jazz. He's also stoked that he found someone who's in a similar line of work as him.
Oh, I totally forgot to ask earlier, but where does your dad work? Is it a nearby company or something? Just curious.
He works at Bright Path Innovations. Oh, you know that big building you always pass by on your way to work? Well, that's where their office is located. It's hard to miss.
No freaking way. Are you serious? That's insane. Turns out, that company is actually one of our business partners. We've been hustling together on some major contracts recently. Talk about perfect timing, right? It's like the universe is playing matchmaker for our business endeavors.
Really? That's great. You two might be able to build an even stronger bond than I had first imagined.
Dang, I should have chatted it up more with your dad earlier. I might have missed out on some golden opportunities there. Hey, quick question. Does your dad have a fancy title at the company? If he's some big shot, it might come in handy for me. Who knows? Maybe I can leverage it to boost my own career. A promotion would be sweet, right? I gotta make some moves.
Hey, Eric, let's get real here. We're not getting married just so that you can score a promotion. Relationships should be about love, not career moves.
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't hurt to be on the lookout for lucky breaks that might come my way. You never know what could give you a leg up in the long haul. I'm not one to just sit around and hope for the best. I know my future is bright, but I also know I gotta take action to make things happen. Using your dad's reputation to boost my career could be a smart move, you know? It's all about making those connections and leveraging opportunities. I want to make the most of my potential, and if your dad's got some influence that can help, why not give it a shot?
Hey, I appreciate your drive and all, but I gotta be honest. The way you're talking about using my dad doesn't sit right with me. I mean, sure, he could probably lend you a hand if you ask nicely, but the whole idea of using him feels a bit off, you know?
Hey, no need to overthink it, my friend. Trust me, your dad would totally get where I'm coming from. Us guys, we're on the same wavelength, you know? We understand each other, and we know what we want. It might be a bit harder for you to grasp, but don't stress about it. It's all good.
I'm not entirely convinced. But hey, I guess it could work out once you and my dad get to know each other better.
Hey, I just remembered that I'm going to visit Brightpath Innovations for a business deal tomorrow. Maybe I'll get to see your dad there, huh?
Tomorrow? Well, that's pretty cool. Maybe you guys could even get some lunch together, if you're lucky.
Yeah, that would be super cool. Anyways, talk to you later.
Your boyfriend came to my company today.
Oh, so you guys were able to see each other? Yeah, Eric mentioned that he had a business deal with your company today. It probably wasn't the first time he entered that place. It seemed like your company and his are frequent business partners.
Is that so? I got to see him, but I think he was ignoring me.
Ignoring you? Why would he do that? Are you sure he just didn't see you?
I'm pretty sure. I saw him in the building, so I called out his name to say hi. I'm certain that he noticed me. We made eye contact, but he just went off without acknowledging me. It looked like he was concerned about something too. I wonder if everything's okay. I hope I didn't bother him. I was worried that he preferred being very professional during business hours.
I'm sure that's not the case. He asked me about your job yesterday and he seemed invested.
He did? What did you tell him?
Not much. I thought you might want to tell him the details yourself.
I appreciate your consideration. What do you think I should do, sweetie? I was hoping that maybe we could get some coffee during the break. Have some nice chat to get to know each other. Maybe even tell him about, well, you know, what happened last time with your high school boyfriend. But he seemed like he had more pressing matters on his mind. Perhaps he'd prefer it if I didn't talk to him.
I'm not sure. Hey, I could go ask him and check out what's on his mind. I know you two aren't that close yet, so it must feel all awkward to ask him yourself. I'll do it for you if you like.
Would you, sweetie? That's very kind of you. I would appreciate it if you tell him that I said hi and see if he's doing okay.
Sure thing, Dad. Hey, Eric. You got to see my dad at work today, right?
Yeah, I saw him.
Really? Then why did you ignore him? He was worried about you. He said you looked concerned. So I thought that maybe you were thinking about something else and were too busy to hear him. But that wasn't it, huh? Is something the matter? You wouldn't just ignore him like that under normal circumstances. Can I help?
Sabrina, why didn't you tell me yesterday?
Tell you about what? Did you find out something about my dad?
Your dad is a slacker. He doesn't do his job.
Oh. Okay, I didn't expect that. I don't see why you're saying that. Can you maybe expand on it?
I never thought that your dad was a clock watcher. Why didn't you tell me that yesterday? I made plans, you know. So much for getting my hopes up.
Clock watcher? What are you talking about? I still don't understand why you think my dad's not doing his work.
I saw your dad at his desk, but he wasn't doing anything. His computer was on sleep mode, and he was just relaxing on his chair with a cup of coffee.
Really? I'm sure this is all just a misunderstanding. My dad does his job pretty well.
He's in his 60s, right? Honestly, I expected better from him. He's a piece of trash.
Really, Eric? A piece of trash?
Yeah, that's what you are if you're not doing your job. He's just wasting everyone's time and money. I'd be so ashamed of myself if I were in my 60s and still slacking off at work. And I'd be ashamed to be the daughter of someone like that too. Oh, I feel so sorry for you.
Hey, that's going a bit too far, Eric. My dad isn't slacking off at work, and he's not a piece of trash. If anyone should be ashamed, it's you. What are you thinking? Why would you just trash someone's father like that? And that's someone being your fiancé? I don't understand.
Why wouldn't I? I'm not the one that has a shameful man as a father. And I'd watch my words if I were you. Did you forget? I'm not like the others. I'm a skillful employee, and I have an entire future full of success awaiting me. Which reminds me, why don't we forget about that engagement?
You mean you don't want us to get married anymore? Why?
Why do you think? Just give it a sec. It's pretty obvious, I think. You get it yet? I'm an employee at a large company with a bright future. I have to think about things in the long run. I imagined that you were the daughter of a rich man, but I guess I made the wrong assumption. Your father was a disappointment, and so were you. I can't have the likes of him holding me back, so no offense, but I suggest we break up.
I can't believe you. How could you say something like that? Offense taken, Eric. You make a visit to my dad's company, and you just decide that he's not doing his work because he's enjoying some coffee? I mean, I didn't see it, but maybe he was on break. Isn't that a reasonable assumption? But no, he must be a slacker. And that warrants you calling him a piece of trash, obviously. What is wrong with you? I thought you liked him.
If you didn't want me to be so blunt with you, then maybe you shouldn't have tried to get married to me without considering your background. Honestly, I don't even know what I saw in you. You're not much better than your dad.
Oh, I see where this is going. I understand the marriage is off. We'll break up. I'll tell my dad about that too, just so you know.
Whatever. Do what you want, I don't care. I'm just glad I realized what you guys really were before we got married. I was about to ruin my entire future with you two.
Okay, fine. Whatever. I guess this is goodbye then. Hey, Dad. Eric and I had a conversation. There were a lot of botherings about it, but long story short, we're not getting married. We broke up.
Broke up? Sweetie, what happened?
Dad, this might be a weird question, but were you taking a seat at one of your employees' desks yesterday? Maybe drinking some coffee while you were at it?
Well, yes, I went to see how they were doing during a break. I remember getting a cup of coffee before I visited them. One of my employees offered me their seat. I'm not that old, but they were just being kind about it, so I accepted.
I see. That must have been what he saw, and he must have misinterpreted the situation.
Misinterpreted the situation? I don't see what you're talking about.
It's alright. It doesn't matter anymore. I know what I need to do. Eric was a terrible fiancé. He was a total douchebag. Anyways, we're not getting married anymore. You don't have to worry about any of this. Sorry for all the trouble.
Then I suppose it would be better for me if I turned down their deal?
Huh? What are you talking about, Dad?
I don't know the details, but I can see that Eric did you dirty. You seem depressed, and I won't have him just get away with that. I know you well. I know that you wouldn't just break up with someone over a small argument. This must be serious. It's all that man's fault, correct?
Well, yeah. Isn't that going a bit too far? Turning down a business deal affects so many people. It's not just about Eric anymore.
Nothing is going too far if it involves my sweet daughter's well-being. I'll show him not to mess with my little pumpkin.
Dad, thanks. I really appreciate your kindness. Just go easy on them, okay? It's not their fault that they couldn't see past his disguise. I know I couldn't.
I won't make any promises, but I'll keep your generosity in mind.
I told my dad about the marriage and how he'd broken up. He didn't take it well. There might be some problems that you'll have to deal with later on. But I'm sure you can handle it. You sounded sure of yourself, and it's sort of your fault for being a jerk.
What? Are you trying to tell me that it's my fault for falling for someone like you? I'm sorry that you couldn't take our breakup well, but it's your fault for not telling me the truth about your dad.
Whatever floats your boat. Anyways, I warned you. Bye.
I can see that you're not happy about what happened to our engagement, but it's no use threatening me like that. I broke up with you. I can't have a lowlife like your father as my father-in-law. It just isn't tolerable.
You know what? That's it. I'm sorry that being a cheap director isn't enough for you, but could you quit calling my dad names? He might go overboard sometimes, but he's much better than you could ever be.
Chief Director? What's this about?
I understand that you've misread this situation, but he was just having a seat at one of his employees' desks during break. But you know what? I'm actually glad that you did. I don't want to marry someone who judged people based on their job titles, or someone who wouldn't even consider the context behind what they saw before making accusations. I know that you're a jerk, and I can happily break up with you.
Sabrina, I don't understand what you're talking about.
You know the company you visited today, Bright Path Innovations? My dad doesn't just work there. He's the chief director of that place. He likes hanging out with his employees, so he tends to drink coffee with them during break. He has a good relationship with his employees too, and sometimes they'll offer him their seat. That's what you saw today.
You're kidding.
Why would I lie about something like this? I'm shocked by your arrogance, Eric. If you care so much about getting a promotion and all that, Shouldn't you be taking the time to check the names of all the important people in your business partner's company, especially if you're about to make a business deal? It wouldn't even take that much time. Just look it up.
Fine then. Give me a second. Oh no, this is real. I just went over to Brightpath Innovations' website. Your dad's name and photo is on it. You weren't kidding.
I told you I'm being dead serious. There's no reason to lie about it. Especially if you can just literally make a quick internet search to find the truth. It's not like I'll get anything out of it. You probably should have checked the website before you made any disrespectful accusations, huh? My dad is really upset, and so am I.
Hold on. Is your dad really someone that important?
Do you not believe what you see? Do you think this is all a ruse to throw you off? You think the company would just show a picture of a random worker on their website and give them a title?
Well, no. Man, why didn't you tell me sooner then? I asked you yesterday if your dad was anyone important, and you would just casually avoid the question. Did you want me to embarrass myself?
No, but I was worried that it would make things awkward between you and my dad, so I kept quiet. Dad was always nervous about his position. He didn't want to affect my relationship negatively, especially after there was that incident back in high school when my boyfriend broke up with me after meeting my dad. Some guys really have an inferiority complex, but he thought that with you, things would be different. He was planning on telling you the truth today if he met you. Well, he would have told you if you hadn't ignored him.
Is that so? I suppose you had your reasons. Fine, then let's make up.
Make up?
Well, it was all just a huge misunderstanding, so we should just get back together, right? Tell your dad that I'm sorry for acting so weird back there. All right? Great.
Excuse me? I thought we broke up. Should I read out some of the messages you sent me earlier?
Hey, you don't need to act so stubborn. We just had a little argument. Everyone has fights. It's just what being in a healthy relationship is like.
Maybe, but I'm still done with you. I can't be with someone who would just talk trash to my dad.
Hey, like I just said, it was all a huge misunderstanding. Don't be so salty, babe. We're getting married. Don't you want the wedding to be happy? Come on, smile for me.
No, Eric, I don't want a wedding. Not with you. You made a mockery out of my dad. Out of me. There's just no way I'm going to be married to you.
I wasn't making a mockery of you two, and you were the one hiding the truth from me. I get you had your reasons, but you can't blame me for getting disappointed.
I don't care about your excuses. I agreed to breaking up and agreed that the marriage was off. Dad knows why we broke up in the first place. I told him everything.
Wait, you told the chief director about our conversation?
Of course I did. He put in a call to your company. It might be going a bit far, but he said the deal between your place and his is off.
Seriously, you have to be joking.
Eric, I think you know the answer to that by now. I don't do jokes. Not during a serious conversation, at least. I feel a bit bad about it, so I thought I'll warn you in advance. That's why I contacted you in the first place. But I'm starting to think that maybe I was being too generous.
Hold up a second. That deal was super important. My promotion was on the line. You can't just do that. Do you know how hard I worked to get that chance?
I see. All you're worried about is your promotion. Aren't you even a little worried about your company? What about all your coworkers? If it was a super important deal, then I'm sure a lot of them were relying on it too.
Well, if you're so caring about everyone, then why don't you do something about it? Are you trying to embarrass me in front of my coworkers?
I don't think you need my help. You probably would have done that on your own sooner or later.
You piece of...
Do you remember what you did earlier? You called my dad a piece of trash. Just because you saw him on his break. You didn't even consider giving him the benefit of the doubt. Call me all the names you want, but I think we both know that you deserve them more than I do. I wouldn't be so excited about that promotion. With the way you look at the world, I'd be more concerned about getting demoted. You're insufferable.
Why would you talk to me like that? It's verbal abuse. I thought you used to like me.
Yeah, used to being the key word here. I wasn't in my right mind. I might have been rushing things with you just because I felt the need to get married like all my other friends. Besides, my father's been waiting to raise a successor, but I'm not interested. So yeah, you seemed charming, and I liked listening to your dreams, but I was just blind, wasn't I? I'm glad that we broke up.
Are we really not going to get married? But what about my position as the next chief director?
Oh no. Did you fantasize about getting my dad's position after we got married? While we were having this serious conversation? Eric, we're not going to get married, and we're never going to get back together. You probably have to deal with all your responsibilities now that you basically lost your company in a huge business deal. I would quit daydreaming if I were you. It's time to start thinking about the real future.
Sabrina, I'm sorry. I was a terrible fiancé. I apologize. I promise I'll do better. Please don't leave me. I love you. Let's get married.
What you love is my dad's position. You used to be a smooth talker. Put that charm to use. Anyways, there's no use apologizing now. I know how you really think, and the decision is final.
But Sabrina...
While we're on the topic, make sure to pay for the canceling fee of the wedding, okay?
What? But it's not my fault that we're not getting married anymore.
But it is your fault, and you were the one who insisted on calling off the wedding.
I really didn't mean it, Sabrina. Please, you can't just let me go through all this. My life will be in ruins.
Will be? I think it already is. Your promotion is probably gone already. But if you're so skillful and capable like you insist, I'm sure you'll be able to pull yourself back up. You should probably work on your personality while you're at that. Anyways, goodbye, Eric. I'm glad that we didn't have to get married. Even after Sabrina ended the conversation, Eric persisted in sending her messages in an attempt to win her back. However, Sabrina remained firm and ultimately blocked him, choosing to move on and forget about him. With no means of contacting Sabrina, Eric had come to terms with his situation. He paid the cancellation fee as requested. As Sabrina had warned, her father contacted the CEO of Eric's company and informed them that the deal was off. Understandably, the CEO and the hardworking employees who had put effort into securing the business deal were shocked and disappointed. The CEO had a conversation with Eric, and after verifying the details with Sabrina's father, they concluded that the only resolution to satisfy the other employees would be to terminate Eric's employment immediately. Following his dismissal, Eric searched for a new job. However, word spread about his actions among those in similar industries, and no one was willing to hire someone with his reputation. In the end, he struggled to find employment in a similar role. It's possible that his outcome was not solely due to his past actions, but also because he never excelled at his job to begin with. Hopefully, through the challenges he faced in finding a new job, Eric learned to temper his arrogance and become a better person. While it wouldn't change his past actions, it could certainly influence his future behavior and choices.